rushes on way up north.
North to Alaska, 4,000 miles by car from Los Angeles to either Fairbanks or Anchorage, Alaska. We drove as far as Prince Rupert and took ferry boats from there up the southeast part of Alaska. Prince Rupert's right in the center of your screen. Before getting there, we stopped in Vancouver to visit George and Pat Davis, you see in these pictures. And we went up there with our friends Tom and Carla Bucknell, who are also in these pictures, who had come with us from Seattle. Before that, we had spent some time with Tina and Pablo in Hood River, and we'd gone with them up to Ellensburg, Washington, and Cle Elum. And we visited with Joe and Ann in Grants Pass, and with Chris's folks in Lake Tahoe, where we dropped off Heidi. While we were in Vancouver, in fact, on the day we were supposed to leave, we had heard that there was to be a building imploded at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So it was a drizzly morning, and we went downtown and stood in this huge crowd of people and waited until quite late. We saw a flash of smoke and heard a boom. The building seemed to list to one side. And before you knew it, the top of the building was falling right on the foundation. This all happened awfully fast. And before you really knew what was happening, the building was completely gone. So we went and had breakfast, and then we drove to the town of Prince George, pretty much straight north from Vancouver, in the center of the province of British Columbia, and from there down the Skagit River Valley, a beautiful thing in itself, to get to Prince Rupert.
North to Alaska, we go north, the rush is on.
All right, we'll go north to Alaska, but first we have to go west to Prince Rupert, the city of rainbows.
There's a reason it's called the City of Rainbows. That's because it rains all the time. Prince Rupert looks a lot like most other towns on the coast in northwest U.S. or southeastern Alaska, but it's the point of departure for the ferry boat to get to the most southern of the Alaskan cities in southeastern Alaska, Ketchikan. Ketchikan is on an island called Revillagigedo Island, and you get there on one of these ferries.
The ferries are absolutely huge, and they hold vans and RVs and trucks, and the first stop was Ketchikan.
We spent 4 days in Ketchikan. It rains twice as much in September in Ketchikan as it rains all year in Los Angeles, and then again it does it again in October and again in November, and it rains a lot. But we got very beautiful weather. Took a short day hike up a place called Deer Mountain, where we could look down on the city and the fjord country in front of it and way out beyond it.
Alaska has quite a drug and alcohol problem, and you see many places the comments and advertisements against it. Here's Tony with his cute red sun hat.
Well, a sunny day for a nice day hike in the Ketchikan area.
Lots of totem poles in Ketchikan and other places in the southeast.
You don't see very many of them much further north than this, though. One of the main attractions about the Ketchikan area is Misty Fjords National Monument. The only way to get there is by boat from Ketchikan, and there are organized tour companies that run trips there. Despite the name, the fjords are apparently always misty. They weren't the day we were there. It was a perfectly blue sky day. Very atypical.
The boat ride took you right up to the base of these mountains. It was absolutely beautiful. Lots of waterfalls.
Water is a main feature of all of the topography in all of southeast Alaska. And the people will tell you it does rain almost all the time. About the only buildings you see in Misty Fjords National Monument are the ones that are erected by the Forest Service that you can use. At the end of the boat trip, you have the option of taking the float plane back to Ketchikan, which is about a half-hour float plane ride, or you can ride on the boat. About all of the other 12 people on the trip went on the plane. So
it was fun watching the plane taking off and feeling safe and secure on the boat.
That's just what we did, and we stayed safe and secure for the next 3 hours until we got back to Ketchikan. But it was a lovely afternoon for a boat ride, and it was followed by another ferry ride. The ferry from Ketchikan stops first in Wrangell. We stopped there and looked at the town but didn't get off, and went on to Petersburg, where we took the van off. You can see that Petersburg has a road that goes south from there. These are the docks in the Petersburg area with a magnificent backdrop of mountains and glaciers.
Petersburg is world-renowned for its shrimp, and Tony and I partook of many pounds of that shrimp within the next couple days.
On each raft, and it was a lot of fun on another beautiful day. but it was fun to be there anyway. And it was a really beautiful place to be.